As you know, I was on a road trip recently, and Shirdi was a fairly unusual destination for me. And I have ended up reading in these few days after I visited Shirdi, I ended up reading the Sai Satcharitra, which is basically this fairly renowned book which all the devotees of Sai Baba will read, and that is also very unusual for me. I feel like it's the people who either they want something, they want some wishes of theirs to be fulfilled, or somebody is already a devotee of Sai Baba and they would read the Sai Satcharitra. I was neither of those two, and I still have read the book, and it is really amazing for me because it's not something I would have typically done at all. And so this video is about that, about my vlog when I visited Shirdi and how I ended up reading the Sai Satcharitra. And also there is that feeling that if we venture into the siddhis, then we may miss the main path, which is of mukti or liberation, and that is why, at least from my understanding, there are these, if someone is indulging in too much of siddhi power, miracles and stuff, then that is like a red flag in some person. Beyond this aura of him being someone who causes miracles and fulfills wishes, who was this person? What kind of a person was it? So I thought I will go to Shirdi, just explore the place. It will be a good learning for me also about how this kind of a mass pilgrimage town, how it the infrastructure, it is a matter of interest for me. And Shirdi was an amazing experience from that sense. I have not seen this kind of an infrastructure. So one thing also that prompted this trip was the fact that I recently saw Sri M's video where he basically visited this place where Sai Baba used to sleep. It's called the Chavadi, and his guru basically called him there, and he ended up actually meeting Sai Baba in some dream-like situation. You can watch the full video if you like. It is very intriguing. This thing that Sri M has said, and because I have some respect for Sri M, this whole narration for me gave a green mark to Sai Baba, and Sai Baba has got a lot of green marks. Like even the Mandir of Dada Bhagwan has Sai Baba in it. So I'm like, he already has a green mark from a lot of the spiritual leaders who followed him. So definitely he's a great being. Why not go there, sit in those spaces and just see how it is. So one of the first places I went to was this Chavadi, and that's where I sat down and I meditated, and I realized this is a different place. There is definitely some energy and vibes there, no question about it. For me there was a palpable presence of some kind. It was a little, I did not expect it, to be honest, because it's been a long time since Sai Baba passed away, and I understand that his energies and all would remain for a few years. I did not know whether this many years it would still be there, but it was pretty strong, whatever I felt, and that was pretty amazing. I especially like the environment of the Chavadi, and right next to it there is the masjid where he used to stay called Dwarkamai. Dwarkamai still gets some lines, but Chavadi is actually completely open. I have never seen a line over there, and it is a very small place, so especially for the women's section there is not much space to sit. But even then, because not many devotees want to sit, they just come, go and do something. I don't know what they do, to be honest, but at least I was able to find a corner and sit and meditate, and I had a really good vibe and experience there. It became very clear to me that something is here, this is a different place. And then Dwarkamai I actually was not able to visit because very often there were lines. One of the times when the line was very small, I decided not to visit, so I figured okay, the time is not as of now. But the thing that's of most interest to me is that the Dwarkamai actually has a sacred fire, Dhuni, as a Dhuni. So that is of great interest to me. So hopefully in another future visit I may be able to visit Dwarkamai for sure. And then of course there is the Samadhi temple, which is where his Samadhi is there. Apart from the Samadhi, it's a very large complex which is completely gated and you can't simply enter. You have to get into the entire darshan process, which, as you realize, is those huge long line thingies. One can take the paid pass. I would totally recommend it if you can afford it, because I mean it's just always a daunting thing to stand in those lines, even though when I went to the Kumbh Mela and all, I actually had to stand in those lines, and I've had some amazing experiences where that 2-3 hours of standing in line with complete random strangers becomes such a endearing and family like experience. But keeping that aside, I still try and avoid these lines as much as possible. So I took the paid pass, and for whatever reason, even though that was a long weekend, I didn't get any crowds at all, and it was a very quick walk-in. Right at the end, for 15-20 minutes, there is a line because the free and the paid passes all mix at the final stretch of the Samadhi darshan, but that was fine. So we stood for a bit, we got the darshan. I was also able to bow down right on the Samadhi itself. Outside the Samadhi is the neem tree, which the Shirdi Sai Baba always said it was his Gurusthanam, because somebody asked him who is his guru, and he said that neem tree place is his guru. That was also the place where he was first seen when he came to Shirdi, when he was like a 16-year-old boy. So that space is very powerful. Again, it has been, there are fences and all. And the public is really frantic about getting the leaf of the neem tree. So always there are a lot of people just trying to put a stick inside and get the leaf from the tree. Apparently, from the same neem tree, if the leaf falls outside that caged enclosure, it doesn't have any important properties. If that leaf falls inside the caged enclosure, it has amazing healing properties. Again, all these things honestly turn me off. Okay, I mean, I don't like this kind of thing. I love the tree and I would love to spend time with it, but this whole cage thing, people going frantic trying to get that little piece for that whatever benefit, I can't take it, because to be honest, when you have the Guru's presence in your life, you don't need anything else. And when I see those public behaving like that, for me it is like they do not know real presence of God or Guru in their life. That is the only reason you will behave like this. So anyway, I was feeling a little sad. However, apparently after the evening aarti or something, the pujari will give those neem leaves to the people. That's what that guard told me. So that is a good time for people to go and collect it, I feel. Anyway, to each one its own, I don't want to judge anyone, whatever they are doing. But or the other thing in that enclosure is this thing called Lendi Baug, so which is a garden kind of place where again the Sai Baba used to spend quite a bit of time there. That's another place to just sit. The whole place has a lot of vibes. Just go with the flow. Don't go. You can cover all the places, but you'd see how your heart takes you, and just go with that, because there are also a lot of small temples within that area. And the other thing that is there are samadhis. A lot of the devotees of Sai Baba samadhis are there, which includes Muslim samadhis and Hindu samadhis. The Muslim samadhis have the Muslim pujaris, priests sitting there, clerics I think they are called. They are sitting there, and they have that peacock feather fan they are hitting on people. Anyway, I was particularly drawn to one of them, but I just I thought the place is good enough, so I kind of just sat in those Lendi Baug area for a while, because I anyway wanted to read a book. So the bookstore is over there. As it happened, the Sai Satcharitra was out of stock in English language, so I couldn't buy the hard copy. I ended up buying another small book. Much thanks to that person who took the effort to write it. But honestly, it was a very amateur kind of an attempt. I was very surprised, probably because I have done so much of spiritual reading. I am kind of used to reading those longer, a little deeper kind of content. And then what I have realized is maybe at those time and the kind of feel and vibe that Sai Baba had, apparently a lot of the devotees at that time were they were all so shocked and stunned by all the miracles and siddhis that Sai Baba showed. So the writing is all about devotional eulogies. It's all like some devotees writing, then it's always a very different type of writing where they are going on and on praising the Guru, which by itself is fine. There is no issue with it at all. It's just that I was looking for something specific, and that brings me to the whole Sai Satcharitra and why I wanted to read it, because I wanted to understand what kind of a yogi Sai Baba was. Now the thing is this, that obviously he showed all the siddhis and a lot of miracles and all. He fulfilled the wishes of a lot of the devotees. The problem is that I read the Aghora Trilogy, and in that it is quite clearly mentioned actually that whoever fakir or Peer Baba or Guru, Sadhu, whoever it is, if they are fulfilling wishes of devotees, stuff like they want a son or the son has died, they want to revive him or whatever, the person is very sick and the sickness has to be cured, all those kind of problems, if any yogic being solves those problems, somebody has to pay the price. There is no free stuff. And usually the fakir or the Peer Baba or the Guru has to pay a huge price for doing these things. And that is why I am not clear as to how Sai Baba caused so many miracles, because how is he paying the price? So for me, I was pretty clear that something more would be going on over there. And that is why I came to the Sai Satcharitra, because I was not getting any answers from anywhere, because I was not able to understand. And even the few sadhakas I spoke to, they were under the impression that Sai Baba was probably like a devotee. But then if he is like a devotee, these kind of miracles should not be possible. But I am completely aware that my knowledge of yogic beings is extremely limited. But from that limited knowledge also I am able to think this much. So I read the Sai Satcharitra and it did actually address a lot of my concerns. And then I realized that, for me, like I told earlier, that the people who read Sai Satcharitra, a lot of them will be the ones who want some wish fulfilled. And I realized that I also came to Sai Satcharitra with something I wanted fulfilled, which was my curiosity. So I realized that, at the end we all want something. A lot of people told me about these two words which are also engraved on near, the plaques have been kept near Sai Baba's Samadhi, and that's Shraddha and Saburi. Shraddha is basically faith and Saburi is like patience. So they were saying he basically propagated having faith in your deity and keeping patience so that the spiritual progress would happen. However, in the Sai Satcharitra, I did not see the recurrence of these themes. The Sai Satcharitra was very insightful actually for me, and it kind of solved my curiosity. Anyway, I think this will get really heavy for you all, so let us take a break and talk about something that we all love. That's the food part. Please remember, I'm a Gujarati, so the foodie gene really runs core in me is what I feel. I am a Jain, I do avoid onion, garlic, and of course pure vegetarian. The amazing thing about Shirdi, as I mentioned, the infrastructure of this major pilgrimage town, what was amazing for me is that streets filled with hotels and restaurants, that's all. Like 90% on 2-3 entire streets, it's only hotels, restaurant. It's like amazing. I haven't seen this kind of a vibe anywhere. And most of the, I think all those restaurants are pure vegetarian, which is awesome. They do provide Jain food and no onion garlic food, but depending on the different hotels, they are selective. Like some of them will give you very few things in Jain, and some of them will are ready to prepare almost anything, as long as you are okay to wait for the 25-30 minutes for the entire dish to be made. I had pav bhaji, which was made really well. I'm very happy. I also had some amazing, there are a lot of these Punjabi dhabas over there, and they have amazing tandoori parathas and stuff like that. So definitely worth a visit for the food. So the sadhaka is not deprived. There is also this prasadalaya, which I was not able to go to. It's like the Sai Baba Sanstha's kitchen, which serves people. So definitely I think it's a place we should go to, simply because Sai Baba had this great love of feeding food to the people, and it's kind of a way for us to partake in that prasad. But really this vibe of all the hotels and things, I really liked it. I know a lot of sadhakas may not agree, they like that rustic village vibes, but I really like this stuff because I like that mix of comfort. It's comfort. For an urban person, I can feel comfortable knowing all of this stuff is there, then I may never choose to go there. That's a different thing, but I like having them there. If you found this video valuable, do consider signing up for my email list. The link is given in the description of this video, below the video, and I would be sharing a lot of additional information. For example, a list of homestays that are very suitable for sadhakas like us, some of the ashrams which easily allow us to go and stay there for a few days, and a lot of more such information. Next part of the video, I basically want to cover Sai Satcharitra and my understanding so far. of Sai Baba as what kind of a being he was. There are a lot of pieces of information in this which, unless you've read the Sai Satcharitra or read more deeper analysis of Sai Baba, you won't know. So do listen forward. And after that, I'm going to cover this place called Khandoba Temple, because certain aspects of that temple make more sense after what I know now after reading the Satcharitra. Here we have hot badam milk. If we touch this, it's not hot. Milk is hot. ये क्या दे रहे हैं, मलाई? Okay, thanks. It's not too sweet, which is really great.